Steph, what was your view of what happened between Draymond and Steve?
Oh, sorry, hold on. I ain't seen this yet. Sorry, what'd you say?
What was your view of from what happened with Draymond and Steve?
They're just having a good conversation. It's kind of for them to talk about, not me.
As the leader of the team, do you think because he left the bench that this will linger more than other episodes that have happened in the past?
I don't think so. I don't know. I know he came up here and talked about it. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, so I'm pretty sure we know how to be professional, though.
Steve called that one of your best one of the team's best games, the way you guys came out in the second half. But even some of the shots in the first half, they just didn't fall. But he was very happy with everything. What was sort of your assessment on the game and how other guys came up in the second half?
I think our intentions were good on offense to try to move the ball, move bodies, get organized. And to your point, we didn't get discouraged if shots weren't falling. We still played with force on both ends. And, 13 turnovers, we look at that number as a good indicator of decisive basketball. And I think everybody played confidently with a purpose, meaning if you had a shot, you shoot it. If you got a driving angle, take it. If you don't have anything, swing it. It was a good concerted effort to do that, no matter if shots were falling or not.
How would you describe the mood of this team through 30 games, 15 and 15?
It's a little up and down, as I'm sure any team that's 500 experiences, where you feel like right now we're excited that we're putting some good efforts together and it's showing up with wins. But again, you don't ever get too ahead of yourself. So just excited for another big game on Christmas Day, and hopefully we can keep it going. So the vibes are good right now.
How do you feel about this particular rotation, this substitution pattern where it's pretty much you and Draymond together, and then when you guys are off the court, it's Jimmy and shooting?
I think it's a reflection of trying to put people in position to be successful and doing what we need to do as a team to, have as good of a lineup as we can, knowing guys aren't playing 48 minutes. So it is, I know Coach has been tinkering a little bit on the fringes of the rotation and trying to whittle it down where there's much more consistency on a night-to-night basis. And I think he'll continue to try to figure out the right combinations. But the style of, me, Jimmy, and Draymond can play together all the time because we know each other so well. Who those other two guys are, I know he's trying to figure out those the right combinations there. And then I know you want me or Jimmy on the floor at all times, and Jimmy with shooting is kind of reflective of when he was at his greatest in Miami with that type of style. So we just have to understand what we're trying to do with whoever's on the floor and not think that the same play calls work for 48 minutes.
Second straight game that you guys took off. Last game, Draymond gets ejected. You guys take off and win the game. You plus 16 afterward. Tonight it was even bigger advantage for you. Is there an emotional component to when something like that happens, which you guys kind of pick up on? I mean, what's going on that allows you guys to do that when Draymond's out of the picture?
Yeah, there's a sense of urgency when he's not out there because our margin for error goes down, without his presence. So that's the frustrating part about this whole thing is being 15 and 15 because we feel like we're playing better than your record shows because we can respond. We were resilient. Being able to respond like we have these last two games doesn't mean anything long term. I don't know, but it makes it fun because you have adversity, whether it's from the other team or some self-inflicted, and you're able to respond the way that you need to get a win because it matters. And nobody's letting go of the rope, as they say, right?
Is it conceivable, too, that because you guys didn't anticipate being at 500 this deep into the season, that there's also sort of a frustration that simmers, and maybe this last couple of games is sort of indicative of that? Everybody's got to be a little frustrated, I would think.
Yeah, but that frustration has led to 2 wins. So it's unfortunate that we're up here after, considering where we've been and 2-game win streak and protecting our home court, that the vibes of the questions are a little bit more negative than they should be, because I get why you're asking them. But like I said, downstairs right now, the DJ's got a good playlist going. Guys are getting their work in. We're having a good time because we're winning.
Hello, Steph. Buddy Hield got a pretty struggle this season, so how much important he got 3 points on the court tonight?
You love to see one go in for him, knowing the last 2 games he's been out of the rotation, but we trust and know Buddy's, again, a professional. He gets his work in. He takes care of himself. He's going to stay mentally locked in because he knows it can come back to him, and he has to be ready for when it does. So it's our job to encourage him. It's his job to, keep himself ready.
And about your shoe selection, any good idea for your next game, the Christmas?
I have some great ideas.
Steph, plus minus has always been kind of a big number for BP, plus 36 tonight. Where did you feel his impact most, and when do you feel he's at his best?
Yeah, he's such a unique player because, he has an ability to connect lineups. You don't even really know what position he plays. He just tries to, make winning plays. I think tonight it was just hustle. It was energy. It was, I'm going to try to impact the game, whether shots are falling or not. Fly around. He got 2, loose balls, diving on the floor, offensive rebounds. So, or 8 offensive rebounds. It was just his motor. And as a young guy, we need that.
Frustration is a word that's being thrown around a lot. What goes into channeling that frustration into wins? Like, what's being said? What's being done by you guys?
Experience and frustration without getting rattled. There's a difference there. Like, you can't panic, you can't start turning on each other. I think most of our conversations in the huddles and the locker room have been positive, trying to figure it out, as opposed to, pointing fingers and doing all that type of stuff. So we have to maintain that whether we win or lose.
When you look at a game like this where first half, you were looking for your shot, and second half it just seemed to click. Did you change something at halftime, or did it was just a matter of the way it played out?
Yeah, again, that's built off of experience, knowing if your process is right, that you don't necessarily, you can get upset or start to tinker a little bit, but it's not really results based. I know, getting my feet underneath me, get to my spots, the shots I was taking, I was pretty confident in them. Come out in the second half, take the same shots, and whether they go in or not, it's the law of averages. Hopefully, will take over.
I think they all went in the third quarter. So
yes, they did. We needed them.
Last Warrior besides you that you heard get MVP chance here?
I would say definitely 2. Maybe Pat McCall back in the day.